Welcome to today's Learn English Through story. In this story, you will listen to a life lesson about balancing ambition with responsibilities, a powerful parable about a wife who chooses career over family, and the consequences she faces. As you listen, pay attention to the English sentences, expressions, and vocabulary, so you can improve your fluency while also learning a life lesson. Let's begin. There once lived a young woman named Clara. She was bright, ambitious, and full of dreams. Clara had married a kind-hearted man named Daniel, who worked steadily to provide for their small but comfortable home. Together they had 2 children, Ethan, a lively boy of 7, and Lily, a gentle girl of 5. At the beginning of her marriage, Clara was content. She cared for her husband, looked after her children, and kept her home filled with warmth. Daniel admired her devotion, and the children thrived under her watchful eyes. Their little house rang with laughter, smelled of homemade meals, and glowed with the comfort of love. But as time passed, Clara began to feel restless. She looked at the lives of other women, working in offices, earning salaries, achieving recognition. A whisper grew in her heart. Why should I spend my days in the kitchen while others shine in the world outside? I too have a right to success. I too deserve a name. That whisper became a voice, and soon the voice became a roar. One morning, Clara announced her decision. "Daniel," she said firmly, "I want to take a job. I have studied, I have ability, and I cannot waste it just sitting at home." Daniel looked at her, surprised. "But Clara, the children are still young. They need you. Who will guide them, teach them, love them when you are away?" "They'll be fine," Clara replied. "There are schools, there are maids, there are ways. Don't chain me to this house. I need to live my own life." Though uneasy, Daniel did not stop her. He loved his wife and did not want to break her spirit. And so, Clara stepped into the world of work. At first, the children cried each morning when she left. Ethan clung to her dress and Lily begged, "Stay, Mama." But Clara hardened her heart. She told herself, "This is for their future. One day they'll thank me." The children grew used to her absence, but not in the way Clara had hoped. Ethan began to seek comfort from his teachers rather than his mother. Lily turned to her dolls and later to the glowing screen of a tablet. The bond of tenderness between mother and child, once so strong, began to weaken. The nest was still there, but it was broken. Meanwhile, Daniel felt the change as well. Once, Clara had welcomed him home with warmth, asking about his day, serving meals made with love. Now she often returned late, exhausted from meetings, her patience worn thin. "Heat the food yourself," she would say. "I'm tired." Conversations dwindled. Shared laughter became rare. Daniel, once proud of the harmony in his home, now felt like a stranger in his own house. On weekends, when he longed for family outings, Clara often chose to attend office events or finish pending work. Slowly, the distance between husband and wife grew. Daniel stopped sharing his worries with her, for she seemed too busy. Clara stopped noticing his silence, for she was too absorbed in her rising career. In the pursuit of recognition outside, she lost the companionship inside. Years rolled by. Clara's career blossomed. She wore smart clothes, spoke in confident tones, and was praised by her colleagues. She often boasted to herself, "I am more than just a wife and mother. I am a woman of achievement." But what of Ethan and Lily? Ethan grew into a teenager who found more comfort with friends than with family. He had secrets he never shared with his mother, for she was never truly present. Lily, once gentle and sweet, became withdrawn, spending hours in her room with music and books. Clara missed Ethan's first prize in a school debate, for she was stuck in a late meeting. She forgot Lily's art exhibition, lost in a conference call. The children learned not to expect her. They stopped asking, "Will you come?" because they already knew the answer. Clara told herself, "One day they'll understand why I wasn't there." But the truth was harsher. Those childhood years could never return. She had traded memories for meetings, milestones for promotions. The childhood of her children was forgotten, not by them, but by her. Money flowed in. Clara's salary added comfort, better furniture, new gadgets, vacations to faraway places. Outwardly, the family seemed successful. Yet within, the house grew strangely empty. Meals were eaten separately, Ethan in his room, Lily in hers, Daniel in silence, Clara often at her desk. The living room television flickered, but no one watched together. One evening, Clara returned home late to find Daniel sitting alone at the dining table. "You didn't wait for me?" she asked. Daniel looked at her sadly. "Clara, when was the last time we ate as a family?" She had no answer. The house was no longer a home. It was a shell, furnished and polished, but hollow. The laughter of children, the warmth of love, the spirit of unity, all had fled. The house stood in silence, like a museum of things, not a cradle of relationships. Time, merciless and swift, carried them forward. Ethan went abroad for studies, then settled there. Lily too left, finding work in another city. Daniel, weary and aged, spent his evenings quietly in the garden. Clara, now retired, sat at home. Her career had given her respect, yes, and money too. But the office no longer called. The applause of colleagues had faded. The busy schedules had vanished. She looked around her large, silent house. Ethan called rarely, too absorbed in his own family. Lily visited only occasionally, polite but distant. Daniel, though kind, no longer reached for her companionship. Years of neglect had built walls even love could not break. Clara sat by the window one evening, watching the sun sink behind the horizon. Tears welled in her eyes. She whispered to herself, "I gained the world, but I lost my home. I earned titles, but I lost my children's memories. I achieved success, but I buried love. What is a woman's victory worth if it is bought at the price of her family?" Her voice echoed in the empty rooms, and no one answered. A wife has the freedom to dream and the right to achieve. But when ambition blinds her to the fragile needs of her family, when she forgets that her home and children need her presence more than her paychecks, then success becomes a curse, not a blessing. For a house may stand on bricks and money, but a home stands only on love and care. And once that is lost, nothing can rebuild it. Clara's story is not about denying dreams. It is about remembering responsibilities. For in the balance of life, a family is the treasure that, once neglected, may never return. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more English learning stories every week. Don't forget to write your answer in the comments. Do you think family or career is more important in life? Why? Your thoughts will help you practice English writing and also inspire others.